Hello and welcome to Froggity Frog Crochet and this stitch guide on how to crochet the interlocking block stitch. This is a really stunning stitch that works best with multiple colours, and it has the look of blocks that just link together in rows that can sort of merge as you go up the rows. So for this stitch you're going to need a foundation chain in multiples of 3 plus 2 for your turning chain.
So I've gone ahead and marked the first chain from my hook because I want the turning chain to count as the first stitch of the row. So to start row 1 of the interlocking block, we're going to make a double crochet in the 4th chain from my hook, and then I'm going to make a double crochet in the next stitch as well. Okay, so including that turning chain, we've now got a block of 3 double crochet. Now I'm going to chain 3. I'm going to skip the next 3 stitches and then make a double crochet in the next stitch, and then double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches as well. Oops. And that's your repeat across the row. Chain 3, skip 3, double crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. And you're going to do that all the way across your row until you have 3 stitches left. So when you have 3 stitches left, you're going to chain 2, and then in the last chain of the row you're going to make a single crochet, but change colours in that single crochet. Okay, so the interlocking block is best made with multiple colours. 3 is ideal because it means you can carry your yarn up the side. So I'm not going to cut off this first colour. I'm going to leave it so I can use it in later rows. So change colour in those last 2 loops of the single crochet and chain 1. And in that same stitch, so that first stitch of the row, I'm going to make a double crochet turning chain. I'll just pop a stitch marker in. Okay, so after you've made that double crochet turning chain, we're going to start working in these skip stitches down here. We want to work in these chains, and we want to work over the top of this chain here. So we're going to make a double crochet. Insert your hook into the first skip chain in row 1, and you want to work over the top of this chain here, so we're not going to be seeing that again, but pull up a little bit of a loop. Okay, we need to get some height on these double crochets. Okay, and then just finish as a regular double crochet. So that first loop gets pulled up. And then in the next chain, that skip chain, again make a double crochet, working over the top of that loop of that chain. Can you see it's come over the top there? So pull your yarn through and pull up the loop a little bit, and then finish as a double crochet. Okay, so these double crochets look like they're on stilts a little bit. Okay, but we need that to happen so we get to the height and we don't squish our rows down. Then chain 3. We're going to skip these double crochet and come straight to the next set of skip stitches. Okay, so after your turning chain you've only got 2 skip stitches. In all your other skip chains you'll have 3. So we're always working in blocks of 3. Insert your hook into that chain, the skip chain, working around this one so this chain gets trapped in the middle of your stitch. Remember, pull up a little bit of a loop for your double crochet and finish as a regular double crochet. Same for the next 2 skip stitches as well. Just pull up that loop on that double crochet, and the same for the third. Okay, so this is what you start getting. And because we've pulled up those double crochets a bit and we're working into the skip chains, row 1 looks like it finishes in the middle of row 2, and this is where the interlocking look comes from. Okay, so chain 3, and then make 3 double crochet working into the skip stitches, but make sure you pull up that loop when you start your double crochet to give it a bit of extra height. And you're going to continue that all the way across your row until you get to the last 3 stitches. Then we get to the last 3, you chain 2 and start a single crochet in the last stitch of the row, but don't pull through those 2 loops. You want to change colours again. I'm going to go bring in my 3rd colour. There it is. And I'm going to pull that through those 2 loops and chain 1 and turn. So you do have a lot of threads of yarn everywhere with this, but this is where using a yarn bowl comes in quite handy to stop everything from moving around too much. Okay, so row 3. So we've turned and chained 1. In that first stitch you're going to make a double crochet turning chain. Just move my stitch marker up. Okay, so I'll just grab some more yarn. So we're repeating row 2 here, it's just that we're using a different colour. So next stitch is working into the skip stitches 2 rows below. So this time it's actual stitches, not chains, but we're still working in the same way. Hook through the loops, working around that chain from the row below. Make sure you pull up a bit of height in your double crochet and then repeat again for the next stitch. Working around the chain and bringing up some height on those double crochets. Okay, so double crochets on stilts really. Got this extra loop on height in there, and again we've worked over the top of that chain, so that chain there is now sat in the middle of our double crochet stitches. Then chain 3, skip the block of double crochet, and we're going to go straight to the next skip stitches. So these are the double crochets that we skipped 2 rows below, and you're just going to make double crochets in them again, working around that chain. Trap that chain in between your stitches, pull up your double crochet a bit so it's on stilts, bit of extra height, and it just stops everything from being too pinched, because if we make these double crochet too tight, this row is going to pinch down and it's going to look a bit squished. So we've got to give our stitches some room. Okay, and now you can start to see that interlocking look come through. So the rows look like they're starting in the middle of each other. And you just continue that the same way as you did before. Chain 3, skip the double crochets, and then make double crochets in the skip stitches 2 rows below. And continue that on until you get to the last 3 stitches. Then chain 2, skip 2, single crochet in the last stitch of the row, but you want to change colours. So now I can change back to the first coloured yarn. So that's why you use 3, because you can carry these yarns all the way up and avoid all those yarn ends. So for the rest of the interlocking block stitch, you're going to repeat row 3, but you need a finishing row. So we don't want these chains when we finish our piece. We want to cap these off with actual stitches. So you repeat row 3 till you have as many rows as you need, and then you make your finishing row. So to make the finishing row, I'm going to change the colour in the last stitch of row 3. Oh, where's the yarn? I'll pull that tight, turn, chain 1, and make a double crochet turning chain in the first stitch of the row. So we don't need the stitch marker in this because it's the finishing row. And then we're going to start as we did before. In the skip stitches we make the double crochets on stilts, making sure we work around that chain so it's trapped between the stitches. But we're not doing any more chains in this finishing row. We're going to make regular double crochets in these stitches, so no stilts. Just make a double crochet as you normally would. You do not pull up a loop at all, because we want everything to be even. We want this top to be nice and flat. Okay, so we've got the double crochets on stilts and then regular double crochets. So where that chain would have been, so we'd have double crochet with stilts in the skip stitches 2 rows below, but in the stitches that were in the row below, just normal double crochets, no stilts. And then skip stitches, same again. Make double crochets with that long loop pulled up, so they've got their stilts. And make 3 of them, and then you carry that all the way across. Okay, so always work into the stitches in the row below, but normal loops. You don't want to pull anything up. Continue that all the way across until you get to the last 3 stitches, and again these are regular double crochet in each stitch, and then just double crochet in the last stitch of the row. So we maintain the interlocking look while making sure we've got a nice solid top with no chains. And that's the finishing row.
And there is your stitch guide on how to crochet the interlocking block stitch. I would love to see what you make with this stitch. Please do come and show us over in our Facebook group, Froggity Frogs Ribbit and Stitch. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel as well for more crochet stitches, crochet patterns and hints and tips as well. So thank you for watching, and I shall see you next time in the next video. Bye for now.